So we're going to go into the dermestid beetle colony. The dermestids are a family of beetles that feed only on carrion, on rotting meat. And so we've harnessed nature to study nature. Now we're walking through two doors here because the same beetles that do the work for us, if they got out, it would be a disaster. They would turn that chipmunk skin I was just showing you into dust. So they're our biggest boon, and yet they're our greatest threat at the same time. Now let's go over to this colony here and I'll show you what's going on here. Here is the skeleton of that chipmunk I was just showing you. And it's been cleaned. What you see on that skeleton are little tiny insect larvae, and the larvae are eating all the flesh from the bones. And this skeleton was put in yesterday. And so it had all the meat on it, and the beetles, who live their whole life cycles in here, cleaned all the flesh from the bones, and there's the skull. Notice the number that's on the skull, because this is if that number disappears, this is just another chipmunk. But with that number, it was collected on a particular date at a particular locality and serves many different purposes. Now these beetles live their entire life cycle in here. This colony that you see here was started on a bed of cotton about this high about 2 months ago. And as the beetles turn in from very small larvae to bigger and bigger larvae, they shed their skins, and that turns into a chitinous dust that builds up.
And what happens if you get them on you?
They won't eat living flesh.
Okay.
You would have to die and rot for about 3 days before they'd even look your way. And that's why these things are drying here, because we want them slightly desiccated. They like the meat to be not as moist as it is when it's fresh. And then it gets that odor of putrefaction, and that attracts the adults. So when the adults lay their eggs, then the larvae hatch and they've got something to eat.